Uh, so the other day I was reviewing someone uh, very experienced, like over 20 years of marketing experience, and they got it wrong. Like it's often people get the first part, that is identity. So the main focus goes to like, I am a LinkedIn coach or consultant or strategist or whatever, and I do this, and then you you are short at like you get you are out of those limit, like 220 characters in your headline. You need to fix everything in them. So I see a lot of people making this mistake. So they are like 80-90% like self-focused. They want to be in the spotlight. So I did this, I achieved this, I made this, I built this. Look at me, how cool I am. So all those things. So this is why they forget about like their audience, people they serve. And this model actually helps you come up with an introduction that is that could be your elevator pitch, that could be your LinkedIn headline, that could be your website uh, hero section main heading, that could be your banner strap line. So you can use parts of it as your banner strap line. You can use the entire introduction as your headline. You can use parts of it as maybe your featured content section. So if you look at the first part, that is identity, I am a LinkedIn coach. The audience part is, I help CEOs and founders grow their businesses on LinkedIn. So this is audience is CEOs and founders uh, grow their businesses on LinkedIn, attract the right audience, and make a bigger impact. This is results through coaching at $9 per month. This is mechanism. So majority gets this right because everyone knows like who they are. And even when it comes to identity, a lot of people get it wrong because they want to be everything to everyone, and then they don't want to like exclude anything. So oh, like I am a uh, designer. I also build websites. I can also do SEO, and I do um, marketing, and I run communities, and lots of like different roles they can do. They try to fit into their introduction, and that takes like uh, their time or their word count, and they forget about their audience. If they are good at like having a very simple introduction, that is okay, I'm a coach, right? Then they move to this part, CEOs and founders, or their audience part. And if they get this one right, that their audience, they normally mess up here, what results they bring, right? So they are not um, very uh, clear about the results they bring for their audience. So sometimes it's like, okay, so and this is the reason you will see a lot of people, even very big names, they have uh, call to actions on their profiles and even on their websites that are very process based. And a process based CTA call to action is necessarily visit my website. So why?
Yeah.
It doesn't answer why. Why should I visit your website? If you say me like visit my website, I'd be like, why? But if you tell me like visit my website to join a community for $9 per month, where you can master LinkedIn. So that makes more sense. But obviously, this is like handful of words, so you cannot fit it in there. But the point is, most CTAs are process based, and this is why the conversion really sucks, because they are process based and they fail to communicate what will happen once someone clicks on that button, that link, right? So visit my store, why? Visit my website, why, right? So if you change it, like book a one-on-one consultation or book a one-on-one call, instead of like visit my website, from my website, there you will see the hero section, that is, or book a one-on-one call with me. So you are like um, making your audience take 5 extra steps to just book a call with you. So why
Can
don't
I?
you just make it easier? Yeah.
Yeah, can I just add something to this, guys? Sorry, Imran, to interject a little bit, but like what I see a lot of people do on their LinkedIn profiles, particularly the call to action, right? So there's two options, obviously, for your CTA, right? Which is you've got the call to action button and you've got the call to
Yeah.
action link. Now, I personally am a bigger fan of the call to action link as opposed to the call to action button. And the reason for that is that you can customize.
I'm on a call. Can you ask Papi? He can help you.
Okay, so thanks, Caroline. Could
No,
you
he
just,
won't.
Caroline, could you
No,
just
he won't.
mute while you're, yeah, Caroline, could you just mute while you're speaking? Thank you. Okay, cool. So what I was saying was that the call to action link gives you the opportunity to customize that link. So instead of having a call to action, you can have a call to value. So a call to value. So rather than think of CTA, think CTV, right? Because a call to value indicates to your target audience what they're going to get if they click that link, which is incentivizing them to click the link. Whereas the button, and do you know what sorry, could you all do me a favor? Could you all put your hands up in the air if you understand when I say the difference between the call to action link and the call to action button on your LinkedIn profile? Do you all know exactly what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's insane. That's insane right there, Craig.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So the problem with the button is quite simply that the button will just say something like visit my website, right?
Yeah.
Or book a call or something like that. But there's no incentive behind it. There's no reason for somebody to want to click that link, right? So or that button, should I say? Whereas, like, if you remember back in the day before we launched this community, Michael, you will remember this. I had a score app quiz, right? And I still have a score app quiz on my profile at the moment in my featured section. But my CTA link was, or CTV link, used to say, get your free LinkedIn profile score. So
Yeah.
so if you think about what I'm doing there, I'm not only incentivizing people, I'm also leveraging curiosity and intrigue, because as soon as somebody reads that link, they're like, huh, I wonder what my LinkedIn profile score is. So that kind of curiosity kicks in, and people then click on that link because they feel compelled to, because they feel like there's going to be some benefit to doing so, right? So I'm just kind of bolting on to what Imran's saying here. Like, I see loads of people using call to actions where they're saying book a call. What Imran just said, why book a call? What am I going to get for booking a call? You've got to make it really clear, because one thing's for certain on LinkedIn is if somebody is confused, they don't take action. If they don't understand what they're going to get, they won't take action. So everything about your profile should be about driving people to take action. So sorry, back over to you, Imran. I hope that kind of adds a bit of clarity to what Imran was saying.
Absolutely, it does. And so these are like first 3 parts. So identity, audience. So we kind of covered results first, but it's okay. It's just a model to help you formulate your introduction. So the order doesn't matter. What really matters is who you are, who your target audience is, and what results you bring to the table, and what's the mechanism because mechanism is really important. We discussed earlier today that how to win big clients, right? How to big clients on LinkedIn. So let's say your mechanism uh, is a DIY mechanism, like do it yourself. So what you do, you are selling a PDF guide that you probably got in your welcome pack when you joined this community, right? And you got that guide, and you all the information is there. You have to make sense of it. It's more like a IKEA furniture thing. So you have to put the pieces together and make sense of it. Like, okay, so it's a DIY kind of project, and you cannot sell it for, like, let's say, like maybe 10 grand or 50 grand, right? Because it's a DIY thing. So the mechanism uh, defines or dictates, like, for how much you could sell it. Like it could be an information about like how to do something, like how to go to Mars, right? Or how to build a rocket science, how to build a real rocket, like Elon Musk did, right? But even that sort of information is just information. So it it tells like what they will get from you, and how they are going to get help from you, so how you are going to add value. So uh, DIY, done with you and done for you, that there can be like hundreds of other variations of adding value. So for instance, in this particular case, you see, uh, that is through coaching at $9 per month. So at $9 per month is additional. So if you are not, like, if you are doing, let's say, a done with you service, and you are charging every project based on its value, and you are doing necessarily value based pricing, then obviously you cannot tell like for how much they can do it. But even then, you can tell people like through ABC model, or through 100, like we literally have another service where we help CEOs and founders build their LinkedIn brand without lifting a finger, and that's 100% done for you service, right? So that is really important. When we communicate that offer to another group of audience, they understand, because those audience are like busy CEOs who don't want to learn how to do LinkedIn, how to do copywriting, design, or any of those things, and they probably have that budget, and they want someone else to do it for them. So uh, then our identity, audience, mechanism, result, everything complements everything else, and that's kind of makes a perfect offer for the next person. So let's say if I have sorry if I have, let's say, I'm a LinkedIn coach, I help CEOs and founders grow their businesses on LinkedIn, attract the right audience, and make a bigger impact to 100% done for you service that costs only 5 grand. So th- that's that's not going to make sense, because then the mechanism is not complementing the results, identity, and audience. So this is necessarily, I have already shared it. I can send it as a photo. I can share this one in the community. But this is it about identity, audience, mechanism, and results. And now we can talk about like other things. And if you have any questions, we can talk about them. So I think that will give it more clarity uh, when we try to use this for any one of you.
Thanks, Imran. Guys, if you've got any questions on that, just feel free
Yeah.
to pipe up join the chat. This is very much open forum now. So thanks very much for sharing that, Imran. But yeah, if anybody's got any questions, or if you want us to look at like your headlines, for example, we can do that and we can give you feedback on that. Or it could be the CTAs or the CTV that you're using on your profile. We can take a look at that for you. So just let us know if you've got any questions at all. Hands up, anyone? Silence.
So maybe my profile, I'm fairly new. I just,
Okay.
my profile was dormant. I'm rebranding and
Yeah.
about to relaunch and just, well, getting visible.
Okay. So Anna, let me just open your profile for a moment. View
Yeah.
profile. And what I can do, are you okay for me to show your profile to everybody
Yeah,
else
sure,
and
sure.
go through it? Okay. Bear with me a moment. Okay, cool. So, okay, so just kind of thinking about what Imran was talking about a moment ago, and the importance of making sure that you make the most of the 220 characters that you have in your LinkedIn headline. There's nothing to say that you have to utilize all 220 characters, right? So I've seen really effective headlines that are very short and to the point, and I've seen headlines as well that are really long, but are also very, very effective as well, right? So what you've got to be mindful of is that it's the first kind of 45 to 55 characters of your headline. So let's say, let me just open another tab. In fact, I've got a tab here. So from about here to here is about the number of characters that most people will see when you post content and when you comment on other people's content, depending on which device they're looking at it on. Right. So if they're on an iPad, then they're going to see more of your headline. If they're on a phone, they're going to see less of your headline, right? Because it's the size of the device that it's being viewed on, generally speaking. So what you can appreciate is that if you, let's say, for example, if I go to my feed right now, right? And let's take a look at like Jesse, right? Your home life sorted. Okay, maybe not then. Okay, let's look at a different one. Taking coaches off life support so they can make enough money to what? Okay, so you can see there that as far as the results are concerned, we're lacking here, right? So what we have to remember is that when we post content on LinkedIn that resonates with our target audience, they read the content, they absorb the content, and it's likely that they're going to see this part of your headline, right? So for that reason, when it comes to optimizing your headline, it's really important to make sure that you optimize these first kind of 45 to 55 characters so that when people view your content or see your comments, they see that first part of your headline and it resonates enough for them to go, okay, let's go check out their profile, because you want as many profile views as you can possibly get. So, for example, here, catalyst for successful change, quantum leap facilitator, directing you. Can you see where that's flawed, Anna? So basically, what we need here is following on from what Imran was talking about. Catalyst for successful change for who? Yeah, so call out your target audience. So if I was to go back to mine, for example, here, being a bit slow, bear with. In fact, we can see it here, can't we? Get everything you need to grow on LinkedIn. Oh, here we go. Get everything you need to grow on LinkedIn. Join 130 plus solopreneurs. So I'm calling out the target audience here and saying that it's solopreneurs that we're serving. Yeah. I'm also leveraging a little bit of FOMO. So the fact that we're saying 130 plus solopreneurs have joined, it's indicating that this is popular. This is something that other solopreneurs are getting benefit from. And we're also indicating what they're going to get and the kind of results they're going to get. They're going to get everything they need in order to grow on LinkedIn. And then following on from that, obviously, I've got the cost of the branding community, and I've got my keyword. That's a keyword optimization thing, right? So don't worry too much about this. We'll cover this at a later stage. But going back to your headline, Anna, I would be saying, like, try to focus on the value that you bring and who you bring the value to. Focus on the results that you bring to that audience, and how do you do it? What is the mechanism for doing that? Because it's one thing to say catalyst for successful change, quantum leap facilitator. This is, remember, this here for you. This is about you. Quantum leap facilitator. I'd be inclined to have this at the end of your headline. So I think what a lot of people make the mistake of doing when it comes to optimizing their profile is they focus on themselves too much. They think that everyone visits their profile to come and discover about them and their products and their services. But actually, every single person that visits your LinkedIn profile is in it for themselves. They only care about themselves. They only care about the things that are keeping them awake at night, the things that they're struggling with. And if you can indicate in the first kind of 45 to 55 characters of your headline how you could potentially solve that problem for somebody, that is going to resonate with them. That's going to grab their attention. It's going to tug at their heartstrings, and it's going to make them think, okay, this Anna, she's going to be able to solve my problem. So let's reach out and speak to her. But if it's very vague, as this is to me, this is vague, and this is about you, and then all I'm going to say is directing you, then I'm gone, right? I'm not going to stick around, because this is the thing, right, as well, is you've literally got seconds. I think they say 3 seconds you've got in order to be able to grab attention. And everything about your profile should be geared towards driving people down your profile, down here to your call to, I mean, this is what I was talking about before, guys. Like, visit, what I like about, so there's pros and cons for both, right? So visit my website. When you use the button, although the button is just a call to action and doesn't tell anybody why they should visit your website, the benefit of it is that it does appear on your content, on your posts. So when you post a piece of content, there'll be a little link at the top of your post that says visit my website or book a call, right? So that's the only other benefit that this button has. But for profile visitors, I think it's fair to, would you all agree that this button is actually disguised? It blends in with all these other buttons along the bottom, right? And therefore it doesn't stand out. So it's highly unlikely that anybody's ever going to click on it. Whereas if you've got a link in here, let's go to my link. You'll see here that I'm saying, join us to grow on LinkedIn. So again, this is kind of going back to what I was saying before, that I'm indicating the incentive behind clicking that link. I'm telling people, like, if you join us, you will grow on LinkedIn. And notice as well that you can use relevant emojis to make that link stand out on LinkedIn. If you don't know how to add emojis to your CTA link, let me just show you what you do. You just click into the edit pencil here. You scroll down to the bottom, click on your edit custom button. And then you've obviously got this option here to, add your buttons. You can see here, visit my store, visit my website, view my portfolio, view my blog, book an appointment, subscribe to newsletter. All of these are CTAs, but not calling to value, right? So none of these incentivize you to take action. They just tell you what to do, right? They tell you what to do next. So coming back here a second, if you click on the link option, you've then got this option to be able to add your link and then customize the text to be whatever you want it to do. But be mindful that you've only got 30 characters in order to be able to make use of. You can see there that I've utilized all the characters, all 30 characters. And all I've done is I've gone to something like Emojipedia and copied a heart emoji and dropped it in on the end there to utilize the full 30 characters. And all that is doing is, if you look at all the text here on, let's just come out of here a second, all the text here on my, in my introductory card, which is this top white section here, right at the top of your profile, what it's doing is it just makes that link pop. It makes it stand out. It's a different color to everything else in my introductory card. So it makes it stand out. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of just touch on this because I see all too often that people, if they do set up a link, a CTA link, they often still keep it as a CTA. So they'll say like book a call or I don't know, join my club or visit my website. If you're going to just use a CTA, then you may as well just use the custom button option. So I just wanted to point out the difference, like the pros and cons for both of these two options. You can only have one. You can't, it's one or the other, right? You can either have a call to action or you can have a button. In my personal opinion, the link stands out more if you use an emoji. But the downside to it is that when you post content, there's no link in your content. Yeah. So you've got to kind of figure out which is going to work best for you. But if you have some sort of an offer, if you have a lead magnet, like Michael, I know you have a lead magnet, right? So you use SoarApp like we do. So 100% you would be wanting to direct people to your quiz right here. Can I just have a show of hands, guys? Like, again, this is going to be quite interesting. And instead of putting your hands up, because I can't see all of you, I don't know whether you can see the raise hand option at the bottom. Actually, not raise hand option. Let's see. Could you send a reaction? So there's an option to put thumbs up. Could you just click on the thumbs up option if you have a lead magnet? You have a lead magnet inside of your profile, your LinkedIn profile. Okay, a few people. Yeah, the obvious people: Nicole, Sophie. I know Michael has. Okay, cool. Chris has as well. Great news. Okay, so really important, guys, that you have some form of lead magnet, a way of collecting data from your ideal target audience when they visit your profile. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now because I have a habit of just rambling on. Hopefully you got a little bit of benefit from that. But has anybody got any questions on that at all, what we've just covered?
Yeah, just one quick question. Talking about the mechanism part. Are we saying that it simply can't work? A headline without that mechanism?
No, I don't think that's not what Imran's saying. I think so the idea of using the mechanism, so this is kind of, you can use this in a more of a broader sense. I mean, I think we said at the start that you can use this in a strap line in your banner. It could be used in the hero section of your website. It can be used in your headline. It can be used in lots of different places. So it's just
about section, and
it could be that you don't add all four aspects of that. So it could be that you ditch the mechanism, for example. It's kind of up to you how you utilize it, but the more of those things that you've got in your headline, the more effective it's likely to be.
So in some cases, if I could answer, Michael, in some cases your mechanism would be obvious, right? And in other cases, it would be something, it's like your secret sauce. So you don't want to spill it out, like tell everyone like how you do it. Or in other cases, it would be like really hard to tell people how you do it. It's more like kind of magic, right? So for instance, I know
Yeah.
what you do, and in your case, like you help people uh, cut on shocking electricity costs, right? So how you do
Mhm.
it, it's not very straightforward. So it could be a series of like 10 steps, right? So in cases like those, it could be just a backup thing that like your audience could ask you anytime. Like if you go to any profile and there you say, okay, so I see results. I'm interested in what you have in your banner. And the next obvious question is how you are going to help me, how I can. So
Y-
that's where you use it. So you are not using it in your strap line, not using in your headline, not using in your about section. But the moment they ask you like how you will be able to help them, so you send them that PDF or you send them that text message or whatever that is. So it's really like these four things, they help you answer four different questions. They help you simplify your identity, simplify your audience, simplify your mechanism, and
Right.
simplify the results. I
I mean,
see a
I mean,
lot of people.
yeah,
Yeah,
arguably, Michael, like your mechanism is obvious because you've got the quiz, right? So like where you say pull the plug on shocking business energy costs with my free quiz,
yeah,
the mechanism is there, right? It's kind of it's obvious.
yeah.
Even
It sheds
even
light on the part that they don't know,
yeah,
right?
I think where you say take free quiz, get your score, in your call to action, I think that probably could be clearer.
Right.
So it's you could say something like get your energy score or something like that, that so they get an understanding of what the score
What the score
correlates
is
with.
about.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
I'm still yeah I'm still trying to kind of tinker with. It's so close because
yeah,
basically that's what it is. It's just literally pull the plug on shock and energy costs.
yeah,
You know,
and
with a
and
quiz, but it's trying to like I'm so close, but I'm still tinkering to try and make it.
and
You
do you
know.
know what as well? Like just a little a word of advice for you for your CTA. It's great to see that you're using the CTA, but like if you can utilize those 30 characters that you've got available, and as I was just talking about, relevant emoji placement,
Mhm.
right? So there's a lightning bolt emoji, right? So I would be copying that lightning bolt emoji and popping it onto the end of your CTA, and that will make your CTA pop even more because it will be a yellow emoji that is different to most of the other colors in relation to your brand identity. So it kind of stands out like a sore thumb. So it makes
Yeah,
it
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes it far more clickable.
Yeah, when I've been trialing different versions, it's interesting because sometimes it's always the case you're either a character too short, or
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it
just
takes some playing around with, yeah, and that's the joys of profile optimization.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but yeah, so guys, I just wanted to has anybody got any other questions in
I see
relation?
Donna. I
Oh yeah,
see.
sorry,
Yeah.
Donna's here. So yeah, Donna, go ahead, please.
Hi, it was just to ask for my headline, what I've done is I have my name and then after that I've got a hyphen and then like my business, like virtual business support. So it's like what my role is. So whenever I comment, that comes up with actually what I do at the same time. Just wondering if there's any sort of evidence to say that that's not good or anything.
It's right. So from my perspective, it's not best practice. I've seen a lot of people do this. From I think from an SEO standpoint, it might have a bit of relevance. But it can cause confusion. Also, it doesn't look great when when someone tags you in a post or comments. And I know you can shorten tags when you're tagging someone.
Yeah.
To just include their first name. What are your thoughts on this, Imran?
Okay, so I was trying to see.
So it basically
Donna's
says Donna
profile.
McKenna hyphen virtual business support.
Yeah, that's not recommended. It's
No.
if you read LinkedIn's guidelines for
Terms of service.
naming, right? Yeah. So it's very clear. You cannot use your qualifications, even your degrees, diplomas, emojis, anything that is not part of your first, middle, and last name. You should not use it. So
I don't know whether you guys is everybody familiar with somebody called Lee Turner?
Mhm.
Yeah, everybody's heard of Lee Turner. She's an influencer on LinkedIn, quite controversial in her style on the platform. And what she did a while ago is she used to have she still does have a rainbow emoji in her name, right? So it was Lee Rainbow Turner, right? So LinkedIn slapped her with a massive restriction. They almost banned her completely from the platform just simply because she had, and this is somebody with, over 100,000 followers on LinkedIn. She lost access to her LinkedIn account because she had an emoji in her name. What she then proceeded to do was go and change her name by default, and actually has her name now as Lee Rainbow Turner. You can look it up, you can Google it, you can see it's legit. She's actually gone to that sort of length, and LinkedIn then had to retract the restriction and gave her access back to her account. So she's the only person, to my knowledge, that is allowed to have a rainbow emoji in her name. So point to note on this is, let's say, Donna, you decided to call yourself Donna Pink McKenna, then you could potentially have a pink emoji in your name, in your name attached to your profile if it's massively relevant. But I don't know how well that would go down with your family and everything else. But it's food for thought, right? If you are
Yeah.
a really headstrong person, and if you firmly believe that is part of your personal brand, and to Lee, it is part of her personal brand. Everything, like all her colors are rainbow colors, right? So it's massively important to her. So if you want to go to those sort of lengths, then a trip down to the Depol office can soon fix it, and away you go.
Sorry, I've just deleted it. It's now, I've taken it off. It's done.
It's not recommended. It's not best practice, and it does breach LinkedIn's terms of service. So
it's not worth it. That's the point.
All it takes is for someone to report it, and that's it.
Yeah.
You've lost your account.
Or it could automatically be flagged like through LinkedIn algorithm. So it's quite possible that if I have an emoji next to my name and it's just on LinkedIn's algorithm, then it gets like, okay, so this guy has so why? So because end of the day, the thing we need to understand is LinkedIn is a rented place. Facebook is a rented place. All these social media platforms are like rented places, and they are like for us to make their use as sensibly as we could, like without getting banned or without getting like into any trouble. So the purpose is so the reason we are running this community is partly because now that we have seen like there are a billion people on LinkedIn, but we cannot do such a thing on LinkedIn. We need like a private space where we have closer, deeper connections, and where we have control over the platform, like who could enter, who could attend this event, who could not attend this event. So some sort of like control over. So So I don't recommend anything except your first, middle, and last name. So yeah.
That's perfect.
Um,
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Donna. Thanks for the question. It was a good question. Guys, I just wanted to Imran, if you're okay with me, we're doing this. We haven't had that many questions. So what I wanted to move on to, as we seem to have time, is to talk about keyword optimization of profiles as well, because optimizing your profile for a particular keyword can have a big impact on the number of profile views that you receive, particularly if the keyword that you've chosen to optimize your profile for is a highly searched keyword.
Yeah, volume. Yeah.
Yeah, and so has high search volume and has low competition. Because one thing's for sure, and that's that LinkedIn as a platform has a huge amount of authority in Google's eyes. Right. So if you can optimize your LinkedIn profile for a particular keyword, then the chances of you appearing on page 1 for that keyword in Google is very, very high. And that also then means that the beauty of it is that you can end up getting lots and lots of profile views without even posting content, without even commenting. Right. So if I stopped commenting today and stopped posting content and took, like, I don't know, a month off, I know that I would still get views to my profile. So let me just share with you what I'm talking about. So let's say, for example, I go into Google, right? And I type in LinkedIn profile optimization expert here. Notice that my LinkedIn profile appears on page 1 of Google, right? So anybody searching for this keyword is likely to discover my LinkedIn profile. And because of the intent behind them actually typing that into Google, it means that there's a strong possibility that when they click into my profile and land on my profile, like so, that they're going to potentially reach out to find out more about the products and the services that we offer, right? So there's numerous different places where you can keyword optimize your profile. So I'm going to start at the top. Now, Imran shares a different view of this to me, and I understand his reasoning behind it. But you can either have your LinkedIn profile URL at the top here. You can either have it just as your name. So if you have just got it as your name, then I recommend that you separate each name with a dash. All right. So it's easier to understand, easier to read. And then if you want to insert a keyword, as I've done here, profile optimization expert, then that's up to you. But to research the keyword in the first place, you can go to a free keyword research tool, something like Moz. Okay. Moz allows you to do 3 searches per day, completely free of charge. So let's say, for example, if I decided to change my keyword today, if I decided to change my keyword from from profile optimization expert to something like LinkedIn profile writer, okay, I can then just select the country here, United Kingdom, find keywords. Now, the beauty of this is it's going to help me discover the search volume associated with that keyword search and the competition and how likely it is that I'm going to be able to rank page 1 of Google. So if I scroll down, we can indeed see that keyword, LinkedIn profile writer, gets 31 searches a month. It's not a huge amount, so about 1 a day, right, for that keyword, right? But at least I've got an idea, and I can see that the chances of ranking for it is high because the difficulty of ranking is low. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. So what you could do, guys, is you could leverage Moz. You could do a bit of keyword research. All right, you can only do 3 searches a day, right? Or you could pay for it, but you could do some really kind of really deep keyword research if you were on a paid account to try and find keywords that have got high search volume. Interestingly as well, like it will give you keyword suggestions as well. And notice that LinkedIn profile writer UK actually gets more searches than LinkedIn profile writer. Right. So if I was going to use the LinkedIn profile writer angle, then it would make sense for me to add on the UK on the end too, because it gets more searches. Yeah. So then what you can do once you've found, and don't get me, like you could, let me do one more search to give you an idea. Let's say it was, I don't know, let's say I was,
LinkedIn coach you can go for.
yeah, well, let's try that. LinkedIn. I was actually thinking of something more like of somebody that's in this group today. So let's go with Michael. So Michael, give me a search term that you can think of.
Could be something to do with business energy savings.
Get an. I mean, this is probably going to be really competitive.
Yeah.
Get a. It can be a long tail keyword as well, guys. So get a business energy quote. Let's go United Kingdom, find keywords. As well, when it comes to the competition aspect as well, guys, so the chances of ranking for that keyword, remember that it's probably easier to rank for a keyword with your LinkedIn profile than it is for your website. Again, purely based on the fact that the authority that LinkedIn holds, right? And actually, no search volume. Okay, that's not what that works. I'm shocked by that. Let me try. Let's try.
What if it was just business energy, like that as a search?
Or just energy code. Yeah.
Okay, so I've only got one more search. So let's try. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got one more search. Let's see what Moz gives us. Shocking.
Wow, I'm going to be out of business at this rate.
But business energy suppliers, business energy comparison, 512. It'd be interesting to come back to this tomorrow and maybe like review some of these and see like what the difficulty is, what the search volume is. Business energy comparison could be a good one potentially. I don't know. And then at least like if somebody's if somebody's typing in business energy comparison, they're probably looking for a business energy comparison website. But if your LinkedIn profile was sitting right at the top, they may feel compelled to click on that first, right? So going back to the profile, so areas where you can then keyword optimize your profile, right? So I've already mentioned in your LinkedIn profile URL here, you can also add your keyword to your headline, like so. Another place is down in your about section. Now in your about section, you want to be distributing that keyword evenly throughout the entire about section. Okay, so you've got, is it 2,200 characters?
2,600, yeah, 2,600 characters.
2,600 characters. So you've got 2,600 characters to utilize. Notice that I've got it here, look, right at the beginning. Let me just scroll back up. It's here again, look. It's just basically peppered throughout my about section. And then if we navigate further down to the experience section, LinkedIn profile optimization expert is in here in my experience. It's here again, down here. And then another place that a lot of people forget about is in the recommendations. So what I do when I ask for a recommendation from somebody, I'll say something. In fact, I'll show you. In fact, no, I won't. I'll show you. I'll basically say something like, hey, Mr. Client, after working with you recently, and because I'm trying to build my trust and credibility on LinkedIn, I was hoping that you would be happy to give me a LinkedIn recommendation. I get that kind of verbal agreement first, that they're willing to give me a recommendation. But I also say, when I send the recommendation request itself, I actually say, could you please include my keyword LinkedIn profile optimization expert? So what you're then doing is you're getting your clients to help you keyword optimize your profile. So you can see here that Ailsa, I recently joined BrandIn community and I've already received so much value from LinkedIn profile optimization, Craig and his team. Likewise down here, LinkedIn profile optimization expert. Okay, so once you've identified that keyword for your profile, you can obviously optimize it in lots of different places and then be discovered on page 1 of Google. So irrespective of whether you post content or not, you're getting traffic to your profile, and it's relevant traffic as well. Any questions on that, guys, at all? Does that all make sense? Yeah. Yes, Amar, please ask away.
So yeah, I would like to ask about this using the keyword in your profile URL. So how is it different from using your skills or your qualifications? Because we just talked earlier, so we should not be using any skills or any qualifications or any degree.
Yeah.
But instead we should be using, or we can use these keywords in the URL.
Yeah, the difference between what we were talking about there is that, Amar, is that we were saying that you don't add your skills, qualifications, job title, emojis or anything in your name here.
Right.
So if I was to go to here, what you see some people do is they come into here, they go to their name, and on the end of their name here, they'll go dash, and then they'll put in a series of, I don't know, CIPD, for example, letters and numbers for a qualification that they might hold.
Okay.
It's not good practice, and it can get you a slap on the wrist from LinkedIn because it breaches their terms and conditions. Whereas what we're talking about doing is going into the edit pencil here, and then, wrong place. Sorry, wrong edit pencil. Going into the edit pencil over here on the public profile and URL, it opens up a new tab. You then come to the here, the edit pencil just over here. You click on it, and this is where you've got your name, and it's entirely up to you whether you add a keyword in here or not. Point to note on this is that if you, let's say Chris, right? Let's say Chris Lapping added a keyword to the end of his name.
Yeah.
Although that would help with keyword optimization, he would then lose that unique slot for Chris Lapping, for example, right? So if there was any other Chris Lappings, they could then claim that Chris Lapping profile URL, right? So essentially your profile URL is unique to you, and this is why when you first sign up to LinkedIn, you will have your LinkedIn profile URL up here. Look, can you all see that, by the way?
Yeah.
Your LinkedIn profile URL will have a series of letters and numbers, which is like a unique identifier, which uniquely identifies you from some other, like for me, there's probably lots of Craig Deans in the world, right? So heaven forbid. But yeah, there's probably lots of us running around, and so that there has to be a unique identifier. So what we're saying to do is ditch those letters and numbers and see if you can claim just your name like that, particularly if you want to become a key person of influence, right? So if you wanted to be a really kind of like a well-known figurehead, an authority figure on LinkedIn, and you want to be recognized for your name, for your personal brand, or especially if your name is your personal brand, right? Then it makes sense to do that. But if you want to kind of leverage keyword optimization and leverage what people are searching for in search engines, then it makes sense to include a keyword. But again, I'm just going to point something else out as well, and that's that it's very possible to still rank for a keyword without using it here, right?
Yeah.
This will help, but it's not the be all and end all. Just by having it here in your headline, in your in your about section, in your experience section, in your recommendations, in your feature section, and peppered throughout your profile, you can still rank for a keyword and leverage the authority that LinkedIn holds. So your choice as to whether you kind of do this or not. Any questions, guys, on that? Okay.
Some questions are in comment box, Craig.
Okay. I think we've got some in the community as well. So I'm just going to show you guys this, and that's that over here in the more section, we've got a topics and questions category. So as you know, we're going to be holding these LinkedIn Power Hours every 2 weeks. And if you have any questions ahead of the meeting, feel free to drop it in here, but also on the post here, when we post about it, if you have any questions and you want to drop them in here, we can answer your questions here. So did you say there's some questions in here, Imran?
In chat of your
Okay.
meet box, yeah.
Let me just open the chat. Give me a moment. Okay, cool. Okay, so you can, let's just see. Okay, Nicole. So actually, let me start at the top.
Did you call my name?
Was yours the first question, Nicole?
I don't think so. What question?
I think you asked a question, or somebody asked a question about Nicole Marie.
Oh no, I did. I asked how you put the
audio note on your
Yeah.
profile. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that isn't something that I can show you on desktop. I can kind of guide you a little bit on desktop, but it has to be done on your mobile device.
Okay.
So just give us a thumbs up emoji if you've got the the name pronunciation feature on your LinkedIn profile. Can you just hit a thumbs up if you've got it activated? Okay, Chris has. Cool. Okay, not many people. Okay. All right. So in that case, what we're talking about here is this audio feed, this name pronunciation feature here. The purpose of the name pronunciation feature is simply to help people that might have trouble pronouncing your name, so that they can go and do their due diligence before they go into a meeting with you. So it's kind of to avoid embarrassment, them getting your name wrong and being made to feel kind of inadequate or not kind of clued up. So for example, when I first read Anna's surname, sorry, Anna, I wasn't entirely sure how to pronounce it, right? So what this feature enables people to do is to be able to click on that feature and listen to how you pronounce your name. To access the feature, all you do is you click into the edit pencil here, but on mobile device, right? You can't do this on desktop. You've got to go to mobile device, and you'll see something.
Yeah.
You'll see something here that will say something like record your audio or something like that.
Yeah, I can probably show you here on.
Yeah.
So it's just right after your additional name. You can see it.
Okay. Yeah. So it's in the it's in the same place then as on desktop.
Yeah.
But what it gives you is a 10-second window of opportunity to record how you say your name. But I always say as well, like if you've got 10 seconds, it's not going to take you 10 seconds to say your name. So feel free to add like a mini pitch on there, or say people to check out your featured section for your offer or something like that. So if they do click on it, it might prompt them to go and check out your featured section or your quiz or your lead magnet or whatever it might be. So yeah, Nicole, good question. That's basically how you do it. Also, just be mindful, guys. Don't think, oh, you know, my name's easy to say. Well, your name might be easy to say to you, but it might not be to somebody in a different, you know, from a different culture or a different background. I would, you know, it's like I look at people's names in Africa and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to say that, right? I wouldn't even know where to start. They might look at my name in much the same way. And struggle with pronunciation. So anything that you can do to help, remember, profile optimization is about the aggregation of marginal gains. They're small little tweaks that we make that all add up to make a big difference overall. Okay. Next question. Let me scroll down. Okay, no, that's the only question. Okay, cool. Any other questions, guys, before we sign off for this evening? Oh, great. Elizabeth, yeah. Let's
Yeah, I was just wondering about the additional name. Obviously, I've been married. Some people know me as my maiden name. Some people know me as my married name.
yeah.
Probably not that many people would actually search for me as my maiden name now. But is it worth doing it that? But are there any negatives to having
No,
it there?
no, it is relevant. It is relevant. It's a name that, so a maiden name will, if people only ever knew you by your maiden name, or I see a lot of people do this when they first get married as well. But having your maiden name on there can make you more discoverable to people that perhaps don't know. If they don't know that your surname is Graney now, but they did know you back in the days when you had your maiden name, they might search for you like that on LinkedIn, and it will help them discover you. So yeah,
So you could come up as either then. I could be Elizabeth Clare or Elizabeth Graney. It's not going to sort of come up in searches as Elizabeth Clare Graney or Elizabeth Graney Clare or something. It's not going to confuse matters.
It won't confuse. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but make sure that, you know, maiden name is fine. I used to have on mine Craig Dean, and in brackets it used to say Dino. I've removed because that was my nickname, but I've removed that now, and I just go by Craig Dean. So it's yeah. So as long as it's relevant, it's fine. So there's certainly nothing. Do you agree with me on that, Imran?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's about like, so one comment here, I would say, like, when people think of their LinkedIn profile, they want it to do the heavy lifting, right? So whether it's their name or username or maybe headline or about section or feature section, so they want every part of their LinkedIn profile do the heavy lifting, like get clients. So that's the duty of your content. It's something your content does. Your profile is there to like bring people to, like, your content brings people to your profile, and your profile is there to like standing like you do, like, okay, yes, I can do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Think of it. Think of your profile as like the pivot point of decision.
Yeah.
Where have you ever? Who's heard of that song called "Should I Stay or Should I Go"? Right? Yeah. So that's literally what goes through someone's mind subconsciously when they land on your profile. Within 3 seconds, they think, "Should I stay or should I go?" And it's all these little tweaks that all add up to make that big difference. And essentially, your profile is that pivot point decision that makes people go, "Let's stay." Or let's go. Like you want to compel people to want to find out more about you, your products, your services, as opposed to repel them so that they navigate away and go and visit someone else's profile instead and continue scrolling LinkedIn. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. It's a conversion. It's a landing page that converts profile visitors into potential inbound inquiries. Yeah. And everything about your profile should be driving people to take action. And what you ultimately want to do is collect their data. And that's why having a lead magnet integrated into your profile, it could be you're giving away a PDF document that delivers them massive value. They want that value. So in exchange for that value that you're giving them, they submit their personal details. A more advanced version of doing this, as Michael knows, and as I know, and anybody else who uses Score App, is that you create a quiz, right, that compels people to take the quiz because you're going to deliver some sort of value at the end of the quiz. And instead of just grabbing their personal information, you're also grabbing lots more data based on how they answer the questions. So you're actually able to pre-qualify your prospects before you've even spoken to them. And then when you go in and check their personal information, you check the way they've answered those questions, you can cherry pick the clients that you want to work with based on how they've answered each question. So it's a great way of identifying pain points. And then, of course, when you reach out to a prospect that's completed a quiz or downloaded your ebook or whatever it might be, it's already warm. It's a warm conversation. So because you can reach out to them with a connection request and say something like, "Hey, thanks for downloading my ebook. I hope you found value in it. Do you have any questions about it?" Or with the quiz, as Michael knows, and as me and Imran know, with the quiz, you can actually see the way they've answered the questions and say something like, "Hey, thanks for taking my quiz. Congratulations on your personal branding score of 100%. That's amazing. And it really shows you know how to position yourself on LinkedIn. However, I couldn't help but notice that you're struggling to generate leads on LinkedIn. If I could guarantee a way to generate leads on LinkedIn, would that be worth a conversation?" And so it's a really kind of warm conversation.
That's basically verbatim, exactly how you hooked me, Craig, when I took your quiz.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you said. I'd answered, obviously I was doing really badly in terms of leads. So obviously when you approached me, you just obviously it was completely relevant. You're struggling with leads. If I can help you with that, would that interest you? And of course it was interesting to me.
And just out of curiosity, how does your quiz perform? Do you follow up with your leads in the same way?
Yeah, exactly. Because there's
the same way.
Well, there's obviously when somebody answers 12 questions, there's some areas that are going to be good, and there's obviously some. It's very clear where the weak parts are and where those pain points are. So obviously that's what you can follow up on. Congratulations, you did really well here. However, there's some improvement.
Yeah, we like to call it the seesaw technique, where you go in with where they've done well, and then you indicate where there's an area for improvement. And if you've got the solution to that problem that they've got, you can just kind of reach out to them very warmly and say, with a message like I just kind of went through, right? Where you just kind of say, "Look, that's what I'm really good at. That's the thing that I can fix. Is this worth a conversation?" Yeah, Craig, sorry.
How you doing, Craig?
Oh, doing great, mate. Thanks.
It's awesome. It's great to connect with you and to chat with you. So I'm in this position where I've gone from just generally posting things on LinkedIn towards trying to figure out my direction, what I can offer, and so on and so forth. So what's the best way for me to position my profile at this time? And then what would you recommend as the best next step?
Okay, so I'm going to let Imran speak for the positioning part. I mean, what I would say right from the outset is that it's probably really important to first understand, what do you want to be known for? What is it that you're going to offer, and who are you going to offer it to? What is the what's the solution that you've got for your ICP? But then let me just have a quick look at your profile for a moment.
Oh, please.
I'll be kind, I promise.
Thank you.
But I think this is the great thing with, so tips on getting stuff done. Sorry, do you mind me sharing your profile? Is that fine?
Okay.
Okay. Don't be shy. We're all friends here. Okay. Yeah, so Productivity OS. Is this your, Craig? Sorry, I'm just waiting for that to load a second. Is this your logo?
It is something that I'm working on building at this point.
Okay. So the first thing I'd say with your banner is that the Productivity OS, I'm confused already, because you know what this is, but we don't. And this is the first line that people are going to read on your profile. So remember that confusion, a confused buyer doesn't buy, right? And more importantly, like if they're confused, if there's no clarity behind this, then they're less compelled to move on to the next line. Every line of a post, every line of your LinkedIn profile should be leading people to the next sentence, to the next sentence, compelling them to want to find out more at every stage. Okay. Project management and productivity strategies to achieve your goals and live your best life. I like that. I actually like that. What do you think of that, Imran?
Yeah, that's very creative. I can tell you, like, project and productivity. So you combine two of them and come up with the productivity OS. Am I right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So
but
go ahead.
I was going to say, but you've had to decipher that over. It's taken time to like look at that. You've got, like I said, you've got 3 seconds, right, to grab attention and make people want to find out more. So if this is the name of your brand, or if this is your kind of text logo, then I'd be inclined to make this smaller and shift it over to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then have this as your strap line. Make it bigger, make it bolder. Potential, I don't know. I like it on 2 lines, but I would shift it over so it's aligned over to the left-hand side. And when you say achieve your goals, maybe what's the main goal? Can you be more specific potentially? I'm just putting this out there, right?
Right.
Again, specificity sells, right?
Okay.
So the more specific we are, the better. Live your best life. Everyone wants that, right? We all want to live our best life. So I like that. And
But best could be different for different people, right?
Yes.
If that part can also be what we said, quantified, that would be great.
Yeah. Again, like this is a mistake that I see people make. Again, like here, 5x startup project manager, shift that to the end. I wouldn't have that at the beginning. I'd make it more about your audience. So veteran converted PM turned solopreneur.
All about you, the first
All
line.
about, this is yeah, it's all about you. Like we've got to make this about them. Again, with the best, you might have the best intentions, and I hate to say this, but it's true. No one cares about you and what you want. They only care about what they're the struggles that they're facing. You need to be seen as the solution to their problems. Tips on getting stuff done is probably a bit vague as well. Again, we need to get specific with that. In the community, Imran, do you just want to talk about the profile builder and how you can actually leverage, the profile builder to create headlines that resonate?
Yeah. So inside the community, you'll see this.
In fact, I can show you while I'm showing my screen. If you go to the classroom, guys, and down here, optimize your
ChatGPT optimize.
Yeah, there's a video here that basically it's Imran basically talking you through how to use ChatGPT and create a GPT that will actually help you use 5 different headline formulas that are proven, tried, and tested to be effective. Headline formulas and banner formulas. I believe it can help you with,
and also about section. So it does like entire text profile.
Yeah,
you can access it. You can go there.
Yeah, I don't want to play it because what?
Not the video, not the video. Yeah. Just the chat bot.
Okay, so if you go into ChatGPT, and that's not the right one, is it?
No, this is the course. Go to the other one. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Need to look at that, mate. It's not working.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. Get started with the profile builder. Will that work?
Yeah.
Ah, here we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, so you've obviously got ChatGPT, but you can build GPTs inside of ChatGPT. So inside of ChatGPT, you can access this, the profile builder, and you can see here, write my LinkedIn banner strapline, Craig. So if you were to come into here, into the, and just click on write my LinkedIn banner strapline, it's going to prompt you on what to, you know, on it's going to give you questions, right? It's going to ask you questions. Who is your target audience? What is your primary problem that your audience faces? What's your unique solution? What unique solution do you offer and solve? And what the profile builder will do is it will give you actually five different options to choose from. It will give you either a bold statement, a thought-provoking question, a value proposition, which so like a main value proposition, a short question, a short pitch, or a funny industry comparison. So for example, if I was to type in here, solopreneurs, 2, consistent lead flow, and let's go 3. What unique solution do you provide? I generate leads on autopilot, and then click send. Now, remember, guys, as well, the output of this is just going to give you ideas, right? And you can then tweak these as much as you like. But you can see here that it's given us 5 different options for our banner strapline. So unlock automatic lead generation for solopreneurs is a bold statement. Thought-provoking question, struggling with lead flow. What if your business could attract leads on autopilot? So it's kind of got sorry, it's a thought-provoking question there. Main value proposition, I provide solopreneurs with consistent automated lead flow. Short question, short pitch. Need leads, make lead generation effortless for solopreneurs. And then a funny industry comparison, making lead generation as easy as brewing coffee for busy solopreneurs. So it's just an idea. So that, remember, these are not for you to copy paste and then, you know, post directly onto your banner. They're to kind of stimulate your creativity so that you can come up with and get more creative with those options. So hopefully that will help you a little bit in crafting something that's going to be a bit more meaningful for your target audience. Any other questions, Craig, on that? Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions, guys? Okay, I think that's a wrap for this evening. I'm not going to miss you guys because I enjoy these calls. The first one was a bit of a nightmare because everything went wrong, but this one's been a lot smoother, thank goodness. Haven't had the dog trying to claw at the door. I've managed to record it, which is a bonus, so we can drop it as a recording into the for all those that missed it, or if you guys want to recap. So guys, if any other questions arise after this, then feel free, please, to just drop them into the community, and we'll get back to you with our answers. Okay. Amazing. All right. So I'll see you all guys in 2 weeks, but yeah, no doubt we'll be bumping into each other in the BrandIn community and on LinkedIn. All the best, guys. Have a great evening or morning, wherever you are. Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.